So today I'm making a hammer that has this pattern on it. These have to be the best deal on the planet. This is a ball peen, however you'd like to say it. It's a hammer that's made for hitting steel. The only other hammer that's made for hitting steel is a chasing hammer. And you can always tell by the face how rough it is that it's been used for hitting steel. Precious metal won't put marks in a thing like this. Now, to modify this, to get one of these to modify for an embossing hammer or a pattern hammer, go to a swap meet, car boot sale, whatever you call it. And these are always very plentiful because every fledgling mechanic has one in his toolbox, and then they get sold on later. To check this out, take your number 2 cut flat hand file and pass it over the hammer. If it bites in, it hasn't been hardened. And then you can do pretty much anything to it. You can saw it, drill it, whatever. If it's been hardened like this one, you're going to have to use a carbide cutting disc or a diamond drill or a diamond burr to put a pattern on it. I tend to use the carbide disc. So this is just a screw mandrel, like you would normally have for an abrasive wheel. I'll just show you quickly. So this is just a screw mandrel that holds this disc on. Yeah? And these are the discs I use. And when you use these, be sure to wear safety glasses because these are very fragile. And it doesn't take much to break them. When it breaks, when it shatters, it sends little bits everywhere. Just make sure you don't get it in your eyes. So when I put the disc on, I just run it hand tight, and that's all you need because the way this turns is self-tightening. Now, what I like is a slightly rounded face on the hammer. If it's dead flat, it's hard to get a decent pattern when you're hammering dead flat material. If it's just slightly rounded, it works good for either slightly rounded material or flat. Now what I'm going to do is just draw a series of chevrons starting at the top of the hammer, and then as I hammer, I can lean the hammer because it's slightly curved and I can get a different part of the hammer, the different part of the pattern. So I'm just going to do this by eye. And we want a nice deep cut. Yeah? And you can tell by the color of the sparks coming off that the metal has been hardened. So the great thing about these hammers is they're so cheap that you can just get one, make a specific pattern on it, and you don't have to worry about using it for anything else. Now, putting the pattern on the ball on the back is kind of worthless because it's such a small area. So what I'd do is I would grind this down so that you have a little bit larger area. It can be flat. And then you can do another pattern on the back. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless putting a pattern just on that very end. So you can see I've just cut a series of straight lines in the hammer. You can do a curve with that cut-off disc. That's what they call the carbide disc. But be very, very gentle with your curve. If you catch it in a groove, it just shatters the disc. So I'm just going to touch up the face a little bit with my 400 paper on my sanding stick. And we're ready to test out the hammer to see what kind of pattern we get. So we'll need a piece of annealed metal. So I have a piece of brass that I annealed, and I'm leaving it oxidized so I can show you the color. Actually, so I can show you the pattern. So initially I'm going to lean the hammer forward and get this front edge. I'll just do that down one side, and then I'll lean it back and get the back edge. So not much difference, but a little. So I'll just scrub this off so you can see. So this was done with the front edge of the hammer, and this was done with the back. It's slightly different. And I like it. Anyway, when you have one of these patterned hammers, don't be tempted to use it to hit one of your steel tools. If you need to hit something, what you do is you turn it sideways so that you hit the tool with the side of the hammer and it doesn't damage your pattern. Yep, very handy. And it's the same thing with your regular planishing hammer. Don't ever be tempted to hit a steel tool with your planishing hammer because you'll damage it. Pick up a chasing hammer or a regular old beaten up ball peen hammer to use to hit a steel tool. So that's it. Nice and simple.